was me doing Willie Nelson.
It's very vivid.
Yeah, it's very... It's also me doing Dolly Parton, but they sound very similar to me.
This is why you don't sing.
This is why I don't sing.
Yeah.
You know what? My pitch, I've been told I have perfect pitch.
For who? Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10, Episode 7, no.
8.
8! Sweet beats! It's dragging on. I feel like it's dragging on.
Listen to you.
I know, and I'm here with my illegitimate drag daughter, Ms. Wilhelmina Box Farts. How are you, Wilhelmina?
I'm super, Wilma. How are you?
I'm delish. I am excited to get into this episode, but before we do, I've got one thing to say. Jorge, drink me! Oh, what is this?
Oh.
A watermelon slap?
Oh.
You're very violent with your
it.
drinks.
Wow.
They're all very violent. They're all very violent. Cheers.
Cheers, slapper.
And pride. Happy pride.
Ooh.
Watermelony.
Oh, I would slap someone after that, after a couple of those.
Why not?
Definitely pinchy, for
Slap's
sure.
as good as a punch. Just saying.
Which is as good as a hug.
You know what else is good?
What?
Tipperdoos. I want to thank Pauline Moriarty. She sent me a Tipperdoo this week. If you would like to help support the Fingerdoo review, of course, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment are the best ways. But I know we look cheap, but it's not cheap. So if you would like to leave a Tipperdoo, there's the YouTube thanks button just under the screen, and my OG PayPal link in the description box down below. All right.
All right.
Well, we kicked this episode off with the 4 bottom queens having to... Yeah, I didn't want to say them, but yeah, the losers.
I like calling them the losers.
The
I like to make
losers.
sure they know who they are.
They had to bestow their MVQ points, and I think they did the wrong thing again.
They did the wrong thing.
They're trying to be
again.
friends. They're trying to be friends.
Yeah, I mean, there was no shenanigans. There was brief talk, like... There was some minor fake-outs of, I might give it to you.
Alessa was thinking of giving it to Denali because she did such a great job, but she didn't.
But she didn't.
No, and then for all her talk, Acid Betty didn't really go out on a limb with her choices either. But the problem is, when you're handing out these points, you want to get the most points, but you still have a point to give away. So what do? Give your point to somebody hoping they'll give you theirs, and then hope somebody else will give you... Like, you want to get more than one point if it's going to mean anything. And that's the problem with the MVQ points, is they're being too congenial with them. They have to be tough. And I felt that the fact that they were all just very congenial and handing each other within their teams a point, fine. But, no offense, Alyssa and Cuckoo aren't winning.
No.
They're not winning, so their points being given to them, although nice, and doesn't that make you feel good at Christmas, is not helping anybody. But as it stands right now, Ginger has 3, Daya has 2, and the losers all have 1. La-di-da.
La-di-da. Yeah, I'm tired of points.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about points.
Yeah.
I'm tired of pointless point shenanigans.
Yeah. I think they just need to kick some queens out for sucking hard cheese. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's the only way to eat hard cheese.
Yeah, because you're going to crack a tooth if you chomp on it.
I mean, you can grate it, but it really grates my cheese.
Don't grate my cheese.
That's a bit of hard cheese.
That rind is really tough.
You know what? I don't want to hear about your rind.
That rind needs soaking.
I don't want to hear about your rind. Although I do like to throw my rind in my pasta sauce, you know.
Yeah, you want to give it that extra Hello Kitty. Daya and Ginger threatened to be more strategic with the points giving out because they realized everyone has a point now and it's not, they saw the writing on the wall, but Ginger has 3. What does she care? The next day in the workroom, Rue dropped by with a mini challenge.
Yay, we love a mini challenge.
I didn't get this mini challenge.
No?
No, I have not seen Clueless.
Really?
I know, I'm a terrible homosexual.
You've had 30 years to watch this movie.
Not interested. There's nothing about that movie that made me want to watch it. I really enjoyed Legally Blonde, and I feel like I got enough of that genre, that mood from Legally Blonde. But Clueless, if I have seen it, I do not remember anything. I couldn't tell you anything about it beyond, as if.
I need to watch it again because I did not enjoy it when I watched it 30 years ago.
Really?
I thought she was mean, I thought everyone was shallow, and I thought the message of the movie was change everything about yourself in order to become someone that people will like.
Yeah. It's based on Jane Austen's Emma, and the whole point of a lot of Jane Austen's writing, we're classist society, and they are supposed to come off as not so great until they realize that there are other people in the world. So, I don't know.
Well, it introduced me to Paul Rudd. And,
my birthday twin.
Yeah.
His birthday's the same day.
And I believe this is one of the movies that caused me to accidentally murder Brittany Murphy, because I felt that she was a completely unnecessary actor.
Yeah, those girls would never have been friends with her.
Several years
See, I have seen it. I remember her being very awkward and weird and laughing at things in the most inappropriate way. Yeah. But again, I couldn't tell you what was going on in the movie. So I'm gonna rescind my comment and say I have seen it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again. But
yeah.
I mean,
are you?
I feel the same way about this mini challenge as you do about the movie. Like, the mini challenge happened.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
No.
They all had to get into quick Cher Horowitz drag.
Yeah, which is basically just yellow tartan.
Yellow tartan.
It's nice. Yeah.
And then one of them would pose while the other one
read out their Valley Girl sayings or whatever.
Quotes from the movie, but I just felt it was a little...
I didn't recognize any of the quotes. I didn't recognize any of what the queens were doing. And then, when they were done the mini challenge, they cut to the queens all out of that drag.
Yeah, they're all back into their
So clearly, what they did was they filmed the beginning and the end of this. They probably filmed each queen winning. And then whichever queen they felt did the best photo shoot when they filmed that segment, that's the edit that they chose. But I'm surprised that Denali won, because I think the only reason that Denali won was because she bent over a lot in front of that camera, and
she seems to enjoy.
I think Ru likes that. I think Ru appreciates a good Hello Kitty moment.
Hello Kitty, and wide tuck.
Yeah.
Moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations,
Bike stand,
Denali.
whatever. Yeah. So she's won something.
$1,000.
Well done. Yeah. There's. She can't complain anymore. She's gonna, but she
can. Yeah. She still has that ability.
Yeah. And then it was Maxi Challenge time. Ooh. This was so funny. So they had to do a rodeo hoedown, which was basically two teams of girl groups singing country music at the Stagecoach.
There's an ointment for that. I've had a...
I thought whoever came up with Stagecoach, well done. I hope you got a raise, because that was very funny. It made me laugh anyway. So the queens had two songs to choose from, Key Your Car and Trailer Hitch. And
everyone wanted Trailer Hitch.
I don't know why.
Everyone except for Cynthia was like, ooh, Trailer Hitch. That's the one for me.
Cynthia just went with the one that she was like, well, no one wants this, so I'll just take it. And that's the nice thing about Cuckoo. She's user-friendly.
Yeah.
Alyssa, she really bothered me this episode. She was just completely inappropriate, and on top of it, whiny. And the thing she whined about was she wanted Trailer Hitch because she felt she could do lyrics for that song better than Key Your Car. But I think she just wanted to get down on her knees and simulate blowing somebody.
I think she felt more comfortable in a more sexualized song.
Yeah.
She blended on her English, but I'm like, no, I think that's just you.
Yeah, because they're writing their own lyrics, so you're only going to make it as complicated as you want it to be. If there were lyrics to sing, then I would understand more, but there weren't.
Make it up as you go along.
Yeah.
So she was feeling a little like,
Yeah.
And then Daya graciously was like, well, I'll do Key Your Car.
Yeah.
And then Ginger, because she can win doing anything.
She didn't care. And that's the best way to do with these challenges. It really doesn't matter which one you do. Do your best, period. And so she was happy to do anything. Once they kind of got their lyrics written, they had to record them. And who was there to help them record them? But the masked bandit himself, Orville Peck, Mr. Sexy Pants. He looked good.
He looked very good.
I'm glad he's not doing the fringe on his masks anymore.
So you can see a little more of his...
Well, because he's a beautiful man. I mean, he's a beautiful man. If you've ever seen him not with the mask on, I mean, you can see them on Instagram.
I mean, I've seen him with nothing on.
Yeah, me too.
And I would like to see that more frequently.
Yeah, well, just saying. Well, he did that photo shoot where he was on the balloon cow.
It was delicious.
It was fabulous.
I couldn't have told you what he was on.
No. On my mind.
He was on my mind. You were all on my mind. So the queens with the Key Your Car song, a.k.a. the Mudflap.
Very funny, yeah.
They got to go first. Yeah. And Daya reminded us that she won her girl group challenge.
As well.
Yeah. So she seemed to do fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too exciting. Orville was laughing his tits off at her lyrics, but then I realized Orville was just having a really good time.
Yeah.
And he laughed at everyone.
Yeah.
He didn't care what was going on.
No, he was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Ginger was next, and, she's got a country album out. Double Wide Trailer, is that what it's called? I don't remember what it's called. Double Wide or Double Wide.
One of your favorite albums? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's on repeat all the time.
All the time.
So she was not going to not do well in this challenge, and she did do well. It looked like she did it in one go. It didn't look like there was a lot that needed tweaking. And of course, Alyssa had to roll her eyes because Ginger was very funny as well. And she's like, oh, of course, Ginger's funny. It's like,
well, yeah.
Well, that's what she does.
Guga did great.
Yeah.
Despite being
surprised me.
Sexually distracted by Orville Peck. She's like, oh, I'm sexually distracted.
Yeah. She had a great voice.
She did a great job. Well, she and Ginger have sung together before. They'd worked together on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. They mentioned, and Cynthia reminded us that she is a really good singer. I was very impressed.
Yeah, she didn't lie. She sang great. She sounded great. Well done for the Kooks. And then it was time for the Trailer Hitch Girls, a.k.a. the Whiskey Chicks.
Yeah.
Acid went first. She did all right.
She was apparently...
She is not a singer.
No, she said she was having trouble finding her pitch, and Dia's like, well, she couldn't find her pitch, or her tempo, or her rhythm, or really anything. Yeah. She, for some reason, decided to take her inspiration from Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
yeah.
Which I have no idea why, and I was like, okay, I guess...
No, I just think she wanted to say Large Marge in a song.
I was very confused, but she seemed to be having
But it was
the
prequel to Large Marge. What brought Large Marge to the Pee Wee Herman milieu? And I don't even remember what she said.
It just seemed an unnecessary creation. Oh, I'm taking...
But I think it was also hard to listen to, so I think I just kind of...
tuned it out?
I went to the kitchen, I think, at that point,
The kitchen of your mind?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the kitchen stopped.
Yeah? What did you make? What imaginary snack did you make in your kitchen?
Pie.
What kind of
It's always pie. Coconut cream.
Oh, you love a pie.
I like a cream pie, that's for sure. Vivid. Speaking of cream pies. Alyssa was next. And the first thing out of her mouth, she asked Orville if he had a boyfriend. Orville was great with her, because he just very politely said, oh, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Of course he has it, but look at him. Denali was next, and I think she did all right.
Yeah, she certainly brought a lot of words with her.
I felt she had too many words for, I get it, she likes to write lyrics, but you also need to edit the lyrics.
I didn't feel like she was following Orville's direction, where he said, put some more emphasis on some of those words so we can hear them. Yeah. And then they just showed her doing it the same way. So
no, I think the problem with Denali is this is the first time in this bracket that she's done this, and it won't be the last, where she said, oh, I did well in this my season, and then she just assumes it's going to be a cakewalk. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't really like her either.
No, you don't like her either?
No, what the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah, you were like, oh, I love so-and-so. Like, no, I don't. No, all your words to the contrary.
Yeah.
Did you love Alyssa's Muppet voice? Did you enjoy that choice?
I tuned her out.
What an odd choice. Yeah. She's like, this is my country.
Yeah.
This is my country voice. I was like, oh, well, what country? What country is that from?
Well, I'm glad you saved it for this particular song, because it wouldn't have worked in the Key Your Car song, that's for sure.
Mm. Well, Acid Boy gave her the note of, just try doing it in your own voice.
She was better.
Which sounded a million times better, but I'm not sure if that's the take that they actually used.
No. Then it was off to choreograph their numbers, which they had to do themselves.
Yeah.
And the Key Your Car girls went first.
Yeah, the Mudflats were taking the lead.
Yeah, Dia seemed to kind of...
They had no leader.
Drive the bus, kind of. She seemed to direct ideas.
It was kind of weird, because they're like, well, we don't have a leader, but,
Dia
gets veto power over everything. I'm like, well, that kind of sounds like the leader.
Yeah. And Ginger had some thoughts, but she wasn't pushy with them.
Well, they tried to make it look like there was some, oh no, there's too many ideas, and oh no, we don't know what's going on. But it just felt like three seasoned queens who had ideas, and were testing out ideas, and had opinions, and were putting out opinions.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too worried about them. I felt like the editing was trying to make me more concerned than I necessarily needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's country line dancing. Yeah. How hard is that?
Yeah, I mean, country people can do it. People from Alabama can do it. People who have sexual relations with their cousins and have two left feet because they've had sexual relations with their cousins are able to follow these moves. So...
yeah. What's wrong with the rest of them?
What's wrong with them?
Yeah.
I don't think I've offended any of those people.
No.
And if I have, I don't think they'd be watching us anyway. So
prove her wrong.
Prove me wrong.
Wilhelmina wrong.
Prove me wrong, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Whiskey Chicks were next, and Denali clearly was driving that bus. Yeah. And
Denali took the lead on this one, although Acid apparently has some dance
training. She said she's a trained dancer.
She said that in the confessionals.
She didn't say that to anybody. She kept it on the DL.
Denali was acting as if both of them, the Muppet and the grandma,
were idiots.
Were idiots who couldn't handle anything. So,
but the Mudflaps, I think it was Ginger and Cuckoo noticed that Acid could dance. They seemed to be like, oh, she's got some skills there. So, I mean, it didn't go unnoticed, but it certainly wasn't helpful to her choreographer. So as the queens got ready for the runway, Acid held court with Denali, Cuckoo, and Alyssa, and talked to them about these points. Yeah. And I think Acid was trying to find a nice way to tell Alyssa and Cuckoo they weren't winning, so don't give your points to anybody but me.
Give your points to me. Yeah. She was like, we need to get behind someone.
Yeah.
We need to how about give our points to one queen?
Yeah.
But I think all of them were like, well, give them all to me. Give them all to me. Like,
and of course they all want that, but like, you know, there's not a lot of strong queens in this bracket. Do you know what I mean? I think there's some good queens. Like, I really want Acid and Daya to go through. I think Denali would do all right, but she's not winning. You know, she's too focused on what she's focused on. And Cuckoo and Alyssa, they're not threatening anybody.
Yeah, Cuckoo and Alyssa, something magical is going to have to happen for them to win this bracket. So I don't. I think we can count them out, and I think giving any points to those two is just going to be a waste of points.
Yeah, and the problem I think with Acid Betty is she couldn't be declarative to what she meant by not giving points to Alyssa and Cuckoo. Because it would sound mean, and then no one would give her points.
Well, she's trying to be nice this season. She's
doing a good job.
She's trying to be the Miss Congeniality. Yeah. So that would not be very congenial.
No. Bless.
The Mudflaps seem to be a lot more comfortable about their performance because it sounded like they'd done a bunch of rehearsing overnight.
Yeah, apparently they burnt the midnight oil. Yeah.
And the Whiskey Chicks, after hearing their song, seemed to be a lot more happy about how their song turned out. So everyone seemed to be rather pleased. Yeah. Nothing really happened other than some minor point talking.
Yeah. So without delay or interruption, it was off to the main stage. Rue looked spectacular.
Rue looked gorgeous.
This wig on her was stunning. The dress was gorgeous. Michelle looked gorgeous in that retro-inspired asymmetrical top. She looked gorgeous.
Yeah, Ross was there in a blouse and a brooch.
I know that's from his line, and I think the only person buying those brooches and blouses are him. I was surprised that the guest judge was Jamal Sims. I wasn't disappointed.
No shade to Jamal.
No.
Last week we had Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and this week we have Jamal. Where was
Especially
Orville?
when Orville did the recording.
Yes.
Yeah, like it would have made more sense for him to judge the finished product because he was there while they assembled it.
Yeah, was it because he was going to be sitting down and we couldn't enjoy his entire body?
His deliciousness and all its masked glory.
The head to toe-ness of the Orville pack. Yeah. I wasn't sad to see Jamal, but I was like, where's Mr. Peck?
Yeah.
Or Peck.
So without delay, it was off to the stage cooch where the Mudflap girls kicked it off with Key Your Car. And Cuckoo went first. She sounded great.
Yeah,
I think she did a great job, but I didn't understand what she was wearing.
No, it felt like she went to a Kiss concert in the South. Somewhere.
Yeah.
I was very confused by that.
Yeah, like you could have put Ace Frehley makeup on and taken away the cowboy hat and it would have been a perfect outfit.
It would have made perfect sense.
Yeah. But she didn't do bad.
No, she did a great job.
Yeah. Daya was next, and I was surprised at how boring her lyrics ended up sounding.
She was a little underwhelming. Yeah. I thought she did a good job, but I was like, oh, she didn't She didn't stand out.
There was no personality in her lyrics. And
a little quiet.
Ginger stole the show from her first line, I'm your wife. She's so funny. Her outfit was hilarious.
Her outfit was gorgeous. Those ridiculous fringy chaps.
Yeah, that big ginger fro. And she looked great. And her lyrics were fun. They were fun. But her performance was great. She really milked every moment for all it's worth. And I wasn't surprised.
I thought the Mudflaps, on the whole, did a very good job.
Much better than they were trying to say they would go.
Yeah, they were really setting them up to be like, oh no, these queens are going to just crash and burn. And no, they did a fine job.
But they had that thing where they all one at a time did that hand thing. So I mean, there was some complexity to it, but it wasn't. They weren't winning awards. Yeah. Somebody else who wasn't winning awards was the
Whiskey Chicks?
The Whiskey Chicks.
Oh,
and
speaking of what are you wearing, what were all of them wearing? I will say, Acid Betty's outfit
I loved it, but
was super fun, but we couldn't see it because it was too bright. Everything was too bright.
if it had been black matte, like just a black denim or something with all of those lights, we would have seen the lights better. Also, I didn't hate that wig. Michelle hated her wig. I didn't hate it, but what bothered me was that her hat kept coming
Her
off.
hat kept slipping off.
But it never touched the ground. She kept her hand on it. She worked it. The auto-tune helped, but her lyrics weren't memorable.
It made no sense. Like,
No.
the Large March thing made even less
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
in the context of the song. So it was like, okay, well, she didn't do a bad job, but she didn't do an amazing job.
Yeah.
Alyssa, on the other hand, what was the point of that? What was the point of that?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I liked her little outfit. That was cute.
Cute outfit,
Yeah,
yeah.
she looked good. I mean, that's the thing
She
with
was-
Alyssa. She always looks good.
Yeah.
Denali went last, and I still don't know what the hell she was wearing. I know she had on a cowboy hat, but all of that marabou made her look like a Muppet.
Yeah, you can tell it was a cowboy
No.
hat. So it looked like there was nothing country going on. I guess the marabou around her legs was sort of like a hint of chaps, maybe, but I was very confused. It just looked like a figure skating outfit that
Yeah.
she tried to repurpose. And,
Yeah.
and it didn't get all the way to its new purpose.
No.
What is the purpose? of
Yeah,
it?
I don't think she did a bad job. Her lyrics were all right.
Her
You know,
lyrics were good,
she was
yeah.
definitely the best of her group for
Yeah.
sure.
Her movement was good. It was I wanted a little, because I know she's a good dancer, so I
Yeah.
kind of wanted a little more. And I did feel like if she was either holding herself back a little bit so her teammates didn't look
As
bad,
bad.
or just wasn't giving us, you know,
There was no
100%.
personality in what she was
Yeah.
doing. That was the
Yeah.
problem for me.
Yeah.
Again, it's just she's
That.
lacking personality.
Very much that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Competent,
Yeah. Yeah.
but forgettable. The other thing that kind of surprised me about this performance was the mud flaps came back on towards the end of the Whiskey Chicks song, and then they sort of had a...
Sang the Whiskey Chick song.
Well, they sang their own song, and the Whiskey Chicks sang their song, and
Yeah.
it was all together. And where was all of this? We didn't see any of this in the rehearsals. I was confused. I didn't understand.
It was a weird way to end it, but they had to end it with them all on stage.
Yeah,
I get
which
it.
just kind of made the Whiskey Chicks
Yeah.
look worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did them no favors.
Yeah. No. And then it was time for the runway. Category is Night of 1,000 Mileys. And this was a fun runway.
This was a fun runway. I mean, everything was a look of Miley Cyrus from a VMA.
Yeah, well,
Like,
what else is she
like-
wearing? Acid Betty was first, and she had an interpretive representation of what Miley wore to the 2015 VMAs. And what she did to make it better or different was a full-length skirt. The
full-length
chandelier
skirt,
skirt
yeah.
was down to the ground. And
Not showing up her boobies.
no, and she had
Classy lady.
crystals in her mohawk, which was nice, and her makeup was
Yeah, a
fabulous.
little Thunderdome mohawk.
Yeah, I
Super
just
fun.
hated her sequins to show where her breastises were because it looked like a skid mark in a pair of underwear. Like it was
looked,
just
yeah, like the silver straps seemed to be over a little too far. Like
Yeah.
they needed to be a little more central. And then I like the idea of using the sequence for the cleavage, but it was just everything was just slightly off.
yeah.
You know? So,
Yeah.
but
I still gave her a Fingerdoo. I thought she
Yeah.
looked gorgeous. Yeah.
I really liked her interpretation of
Yeah,
this. Well
yeah.
done.
It was
Acid
Miley
Betty.
Cyrus as perceived by Acid Betty.
Acid Betty,
Yeah, very
yeah.
well done.
Next down the runway, Alyssa Hunter was serving up Miley at the 2024 Grammys.
Yeah.
And doing a Bob Mackie,
Gorgeous dress.
replica
Yeah.
dress, but it was cute, but there wasn't much to it.
No.
Her performance was kind of weird because
She was
whatever
caught
she
up
was
in holding that
channeling was not.
microphone. Yeah.
And doing a lot of stuff that was like, I don't really think that
And
didn't
you know,
come across as Miley Cyrus.
what bothered me about this dress was that the breast was too narrow.
They're too
It needed
narrow.
to be wider for her torso because it made her look like she had a uniboob. I mean, she didn't have any boobs, so it didn't really matter. But
Zero
I just wish that it had been a little wider.
Yeah.
Whoever made it, like, it made me think she borrowed it from someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't made for her. But whether it was made for her or not, I thought she looked great. I gave her a Fingerdoo.
Yeah, it was a cute look.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a very exciting look.
No. Denali was next in a 2013 VMAs outfit. This is the iconic Miley when she was wearing plushies and stuff like that. And this is the outfit that she wore where she stripped down to like a nude latex bodysuit that was really tight on her rear end. And there were a lot of memes about her looking like a uncooked chicken in it. Her butt looked kind of like raw chicken. But
Rude.
but I thought Denali looked great.
I thought Denali looked great.
Yeah.
It was she was saying that she was serving this big look, but like once the bear came off, I found it all again. It was a little too simple.
Yeah.
It was a little, like even the latex looked like she did a great job of copying it, but she just copied it.
Yeah, and
Whereas,
that's
like,
that's
she
a
didn't
nice.
drag it up.
She's got a great body to show off, so well done, Denali. But at the end of the day, I couldn't have told you really what was going on. She had the big stuffed bear, and then I couldn't tell you the rest of it.
Yeah. Like, Acid Betty made that look her own.
Yeah.
She did some changes to it.
Yeah.
And
Alyssa didn't.
Yeah, Alyssa just did an homage,
Yeah.
and Denali just kind of did an homage.
Yeah.
She looked great. Her legs...
Gorgeous. She's got the most beautiful legs. All skaters do. Yeah.
Athletic legs. Yeah. But it was just a little like, oh,
Crack a
okay.
walnut with those thighs. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, but you could.
No.
Who's eating walnuts anyway?
Well, not leg-cracked walnuts. Can you buy them that way? Ours cracked walnuts?
I'm sure that Arnold
Depends on
Schwarzenegger missed an opportunity to have a line of leg-cracked walnuts.
Yeah, you know what? He would have a lot more money if only he'd gone into the cracked walnut biz.
Yeah. Sex it up,
Foolish.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
Foolish. Why did
just
you
saying.
go to show business?
Yeah. Cuckoo was next in a 2015 VMAs look, which I thought she looked spectacular until she opened her coat. And then I don't know what was going on with the crotch of this. It just didn't fit her.
No.
It needed to come up a little higher and fit her leg, like where her leg crease is, where her leg meets her hip. The panty line of the unitard was too low.
Yeah.
And that's an easy fix. So I'm just, again, it makes it look like she borrowed it. That's fine. I'm not against people borrowing outfits, but...
Make them fit.
Yeah, like it just takes a couple of minutes to make an adjustment.
Fix your crotch. Fix your crotch.
I still gave her a Fingerdoo because she looked spectacular, but yeah, I wasn't happy about the crotch. I'm all about
People
the
have
crotch.
told you that. People have told you that before.
Yeah.
And do you like Wilma? No, not happy about the crotch.
You'd be surprised how often I hear that.
Well, also that's one of your nicknames, the crotch. Because you just get so hot and swampy in the summer.
My wet ass crotch. Wet ass crotch.
Next down the runway, Dia Betty, who picked something from the 2013 Met Gala. And this was an interesting departure from Ms. Dia.
She looked gorgeous.
She did look gorgeous. The hair was kind of fun. I wish it was a little bigger spikes.
Yeah.
It just felt a little timid.
Yeah.
And but the whole net and glitteriness of the dress was quite cute.
I wish she had done it in two pieces though, because the netting and the dress were all one piece that zipped up the back. I wish that the sheath underneath had been one thing, and then the netting dress had been another, because it was too tight. It didn't move. The reason it looked so good on Miley Cyrus was the netting moved as she moved, so it really gave you dimension and contours, and it was great. And I think a lot of those contours got lost on Betty, but still, I'm giving her a Fingerdoo. She looked great.
Yeah, I thought she looked great. My favorite thing about her comment was she's like, my waist hurts and my rear end looks like cuckoo's. I was like, oh, Tess, look at that. Big juicy, big old juicy
apple
bottom.
Yeah. Nice. Wet ass. Finally, we had Ginger Minj in a blue Elvis outfit inspired by Miley Cyrus at the 2017 VMAs. This is the second time that Ginger's worn an Elvis-inspired suit. On season 7, episode 7, the runway category was leather and lace, and she wore a white Elvis outfit. It was a bathing suit bottom. It wasn't pants, but it was the jacket and the pompadour, and it's a look that works for her.
Yeah, she's as great as Elvis.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because Ginger has an odd body to fit, but everything she wears fits her beautifully. Like, time has been spent. Either the same person's making everything and they've got it down to a science, or they just really take their time with her. But she looked amazing. I gave her a Fingerdoo.
Yeah.
And then, well, the judges deliberated as the queens changed outfits. More of the queens changed this time.
Yeah, I do appreciate that Ginger's just like, nope, this is what I'm wearing, this is what I wear for the runway, this is what I'm going to lip sync in.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid, I wear things that I can lip sync in.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a dancer, so I can lip sync in everything.
No, she's not shablamming and cartwheeling and
like, this is
all
fine.
that. Yeah. And good for her, because she was one of the top 2 queens. It was her, and thank goodness Denali. If Denali hadn't have won this, I think she would have lost her mind. Certainly her fan base would have lost their minds.
Are they losing their minds?
Oh, I don't know.
Are there a bunch of 12-year-old figure skaters losing their minds?
Yeah. She's got a nice little pack of baby queens that get their butts out of joint when she doesn't get her flowers.
Do you want to do a Tanya Harding on everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. But I thought that those were the good choices, because Denali was definitely the best out of her group, and I really did think that Ginger was the best out of hers.
Absolutely.
I would have loved to have seen Cuckoo win, only because I thought she surprisingly did a good job.
I think her runway probably kept her out.
Well, yeah. So they had to lip sync to Miley Cyrus's "See You Again," and I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say I feel like a lot of people are feeling there's some shenanigans from production, that they're skewing it in Ginger's favor. And the reason that I'll agree with that is here's another Park and Bark song.
Yeah.
It's not a big dance song, and the first song wasn't a big dance song. So it's certainly Ginger's wheelhouse. And there's that moment in the song where it gets high energy, and that's where you would like let it go. But Denali started dancing right out of the gate. She was doing a Georges. Every word had a dance move, and it was distracting and unnecessary. And I got bored of her very quickly.
She danced the tits out of this lip sync. Like, if she'd been up against another dancer, then I think it might have been a fair fight. But Ginger is such a strong lip syncer. She doesn't have to do a lot of moves.
And Acid Betty said it right, because Denali was dancing her butt off, but Ginger was bringing them in.
Yeah, Ginger brings us in.
Yeah. And she does that same thing. You made a mention of Lydia. She's the same with Lydia. Yeah. It's like riveting eye contact. And also so funny. The few times that she kind of referred to Denali and made some face, hilarious. And I just felt like by the end of the song, it's like I stopped watching Denali because it was too much. I couldn't bear it.
Well, Ginger felt very in the moment for me.
Yeah.
And Denali felt more like, this is what I've planned, this is what I've rehearsed. Yeah. And like threw it down. I'm not denying that she's...
No, she's a talented queen.
Talented dancer, but she just didn't stand a chance up against Ginger. When all was said and done, Ginger Minge was the winner of the week. Again,
$20,000 she's won.
6 points now.
6. She's going through.
She's untouchable.
She's going through to the semifinals because no one's going to get 6 points unless somebody wins the challenge next week, the lip sync, and gets points from everybody.
Everyone gives her
Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I was very pleased for Ginger. The other thing that made me happy was knowing that Denali's fan base was going to lose their friggin' mind. I can't wait. I don't go looking for reaction, but especially with something like that, sooner or later the reaction is so big that you can't help but hear it. And I'm sure that Denali's little baby queens, ice queens, are all
ice cubes
picking the ice with their toe picks. You know what I mean? And I'm sure we're going to hear it from Denali. I think she'll be upset, but I wasn't upset with who won.
No, I thought it made perfect sense. I was happy that Denali was in the top 2, but I'm even more happy that my Minge won.
The other thing that made me happy was when they announced Ginger as the winner. They cut to Alyssa, and she just rolling her eyes. It's like, well, be better then. Yeah. Be better. Don't be bitter. Be better. Yeah. She's not going to be better.
She's not going to be better. No, not by next week.
No. This was a very boring episode when it's all said and done, because very little happened that I was interested in. But I was
This episode was boring because I found it boring.
It was boring for me. I mean, if you didn't find it boring, let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And if you want to do something more than just leave a comment down below, you can leave a tip or do with the YouTube thanks button or my OG PayPal link in the description box down below. Along with that link are links to my Redbubble store and my Patreon page where the Fingerdoo family meets twice a month for live chats. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having.
And until next week, miss us! Mwah! Yeah, very lackluster this episode.
Very lackluster. I mean, it's nice that it kind of got mixed up, so... You know, Denali has some points and it's kind of more in the mix, but...
Yeah. I also think there's a level of complacency now because it's our 3rd time with the brackets, and it's starting to wear on me. None of these queens seem to know how to deal with the points. Yeah.
I'm so tired of it. I'm bored. Yeah. I'm bored of points.
Yeah. Yeah, next week I'm hoping next week will shake the tree and hopefully... Who do you think should be in the move on to the semifinals?
Ginger's going to go through for sure. I want Ginger to go through. I want Diabetic to go through.
Yeah.
And I would throw Denali over Acid Betty.
Yeah.
Acid Betty hasn't showed me enough
new
interesting stuff that I'm really craving her to go through. And if there's a lip sync Lollapalooza, I'd rather watch Denali than Acid Betty.
Yeah. She definitely would end up at least doing 2 rounds of the...
We'll see what the acting challenge is, because it's an acting challenge, so... Acid might do better in that than Denali's going to do.
Yeah,
so
I don't think Denali will do well.
Yeah.
Alyssa and Cuckoo won't do well.
No, Alyssa's going to do terrible.
No.
Terrible.
And she'll be mad that Ginger kills her.
Yeah. She's like, oh, another English acting challenge? I'm like, it's an English show.
RuPaul's Drag Race, not...
El Drag Race, so... RuPaul. It's very offensive.
I was going to say I didn't do it because I knew it would be offensive.
And be like, icon.
Yeah, send your hate mail to Wilhelmina Boxfarts because she clearly hates Latins. Just saying.
I mean, not both.
Most.
None of them.